goodness. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rose Garden. This is Sarita. I'm one half of this sibling pair who comes in the Rose Garden every week to hang out and bring you all joy and to bring ourselves joy. Happy Thursday, brother.
Hey, happy Thursday to you as well, sister. How are you?
You know what? It's a great day to be together. Um, and I need I'm looking for my praise, so you better praise me. I'm on the road today, but I made time for our show, and I'm dressed
Yeah,
up.
you was on your best obedient behavior.
I was I was obedient, but you were disobedient, as usual. So how was your Father's Day?
Oh, like I said, Father's Day is like any other day. You know, Actually, I got a lot of love from my fellow fathers. You know what I mean? Salute to all the fathers out there. You know what I mean? Got a lot of uh, text messages and love from the brethren.
Oh, so
Big
wait a minute. Are you telling me that? So that's not like every other day. People don't just be text messaging you.
Yeah, actually, we do keep in touch with each other on a daily basis, though. So it's kind of cool that we do that. I don't know if y'all ladies know that brothers got a communication network like that, that where we look out for each other's well-being. But
Okay, you
but
need it
the
because y'all all crazy.
little girl text me. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got a little girl. Okay,
Little girl
you're
text me.
winning. You're winning. You're winning.
Well, I texted her the day before for her birthday, so
So
maybe it was a
it
quid
was
pro quo.
well. Listen, we're gonna take all the wins we can, but
Yeah,
you really weren't winning well last week. So in the
I'm
group chat.
always winning. We always winning on this side of the fence.
Well, I saw somebody hit you up on the Facebook and let you know that they and posted for you a sign of the.
One nebulous ad they found somewhere. Shout out to Megs and wherever she pulled out that Father's Day ad. I didn't see that ad. If it wasn't for her sending that ad to us, I would have never seen it nowhere. I don't know where she pulled that out from. She
But
might use AI to make it.
but what it proved was that what fathers are valued, and I mean the commentary behind the ad was the best part, where she was like, and look, I found an ad. So uh
Hey,
you
but look
all
how excited she was for that one single ad that she found about Father's Day. It's always an exception to the rule here. You know what I mean? But it's funny because our producer found an article he sent to me earlier this week where it said that 80% of women get their wealth through marriage. And
this
guess
is
what?
this I need to see the ad. I need to see the article. I cannot trust the men on this program.
Then 80% of men becoming
Well, did weren't you the one to tell me if I can, so you are my biggest hype man, and weren't you the one to tell me if I can make it once, I can make it again. So if you lose an 80% of your wealth, you should be able to. You got the blueprint to make
look,
it
look,
again,
look
right?
how cold y'all look how cold y'all want me are. You ain't even give a man a second to have some empathy that he got impoverished through this trick of this enchantment of love. You know what I mean? And lost whatever assets and resources he had through that process, right? You don't even get a minute to wallow in that, right? It's just get back on the horse and make it again,
Go
huh?
grind again. Isn't that what you told me when I tried to have my pity party? You told me, Sarita, if you've done this before, you can do it again. This ain't no big deal. I've lost this and I've lost that, but I made it through. Isn't that the formula? So from your
But we do it. Men end up doing it. But I'm just saying that women don't do it all the time. I
are
think
you
like
being accountable?
I'm saying men do this. Like we do this. We don't. I'm just letting you know that the value that a woman is supposed to bring to a man's life is encouragement, nurture, and support. But these women don't even want to give you that for 1 second. And they're like,
Well,
"Hey,
I
you a man, get back up on your horse and make this thing again." You know what I mean? It's
well,
okay though. I think that's the reality of what a man got to do. So it's all good.
Well, you know what's valuable in this discussion is that you keep holding yourself accountable. The group chat really, the group chat was entertained, and it makes last week, and so it makes good sense to end off where we started, which was about the erectile dysfunction. They thought that we did not give the conversation enough. We didn't give that topic enough conversation. So I promised every female in that group chat that I would bring up the fact that this is what they're really going through. And that if men appreciated the wholeness and fullness of a woman and didn't just sexualize women, that they would understand that folks in their middle age are having to deal with that. Like a
Well,
lot of
that sounds like victim stance and lack of
oh, there you go.
on the
There you
woman's
go.
side. I can guarantee you this. You
Guarantee
take
what?
that man, so the man in the middle age that's dealing with erectile
I'm
dysfunction.
30, because I did the research. Because so don't go too far in the conversation
What
because I
what
wanted
what,
to do the
what,
research on what erectile function dysfunction is.
but I'm gonna say this, right? A lot of middle
You
aged
don't even want to talk
women
about it. You don't even want to talk
want to
about it.
fault men in the middle age for erectile dysfunction when the marketplace for for what the man is dealing with, right, is difficult. Or because see, in this area again, I feel like the
What you
buy
talking
like
about the marketplace? There's more women than
what I'm
men.
trying to say to you is you guys are trying to lower the bar for the
We have
standard
to
that the
because you
man
can't
that
because
the
the
man
bar won't the bar won't hire itself. Like they're lowering the bar because their bars aren't they're not lifting.
but that's because the woman can't meet the standards. So she wants you to what's when they're grading on a curve and stuff, they want to lower the bar, right? And they want to say though that because now that the woman is not as physically or visually attractive as she once was at some point in time, that this erectile should be dysfunction should be
Well,
pointed in a man's direction.
didn't we
But it's
didn't
that
we
same man that got these problems, right? I bet you take that same man, you put him down in a strip club somewhere with some things that's looking,
the
uh,
problem is
you
still
know,
existing. And didn't our producer the problem is still existing. And the problem is didn't our producer give us some good statistics at the end where he discussed that is true that women don't fall in love with the visual of a man. Isn't that didn't he give us those was I wrong
but
about
y'all
wait, wait,
point that
wait. Let's go to our producer. Did you give us that statistic last week?
he did,
He, he
he
gave us
did.
that, and then
Yeah.
he did not have the courage to say that in the show, right? What he did was after he started giving us
Now
this,
you attack the man.
you
You
could have.
attack the man's courage. See how women talk. She'd attack the man's courage and all that stuff. Listen, the point of the matter is this:
So wait. The point of the
women ain't
matter
being
is
women ain't being accountable on this part of it.
we are
That
being far more accountable because we're judicious. What he gave us in this is how fair and judicious we are being in that our available field. And I'm saying when I looked up what constitutes erectile dysfunction, this is probably a very good point of education. It's not just being able to continue to be erect in the act, it's to even have interest in sex. So there's hormonal changes, there's all kinds of changes that are occurring. And so there's a diminished interest even in sex and
well,
sexual
that's what I'm
activity.
saying. Look at the market that
And it's
a
not
man
because of the
in
market,
in
because
the
men
U.S.
sleeping
Look at the market that the men in the U.S. got to deal with, and then you will say, and you tell me
well,
that they
men are
should have
sleeping with
any
younger
interest
women.
in,
Men are
huh?
sleeping with younger women. So
Well, why? Why are they doing that?
but even the ones who are sleeping with the younger women, those poor little in their prime are having to sacrifice for these males whose interest is diminishing, whose ability to perform is diminishing, whose
But why is their interest diminishing? We're not talking about the root cause behind it,
well, a lot of the
which
root
is
cause is
which is
physiological. It's physiological. It's not all visual. You blame it on the visual. That's why when my girlfriend brought up the conversation in the group chat about, here's this man who came into her life. They were seemingly doing well, and
And she
then
got out of shape.
he well, slightly, but he
No,
didn't.
not slight. It must have been more. You even said
I, well,
you,
I
you
said it.
even said it's more than slight. It's definitely perceptible, right? It was definitely more than slightly.
Okay, so there was a visual change, but
Yeah.
the heart of the person wasn't there. And what we do, what I do know, and what you can you admit this, that when women get in relationships, they definitely change. In some physically, sometimes they change, and they change in other ways. And
We
so,
all change. We all change when we get in a relationship.
correct. And but the reality is you should be more stimulated and more attracted and more connected, because at this point that person has changed from just somebody that you are looking at and admiring to you should be connected to them spiritually. Even our
Well,
now our
that's the rose-colored glasses that you get. That's that sounds good.
that sounds good.
That sounds good.
That's the recipe for a valuable relationships. But when something like erectile dysfunction hits, because I'm pretty convinced that this man that she was in a relationship with, when you hear the backstory, and I can't tell all her business, but a part of that story is there was a diminished level of sexual
You
activity.
know, it's funny. It's funny that that women always look for these alternative facts like Trump, right? Y'all like
Oh
you
my
know what y'all like Trump, right? It's the man that told her
God.
directly, factually. You know what I mean? That's why I say sometimes men be speaking English and women be speaking Chinese or Greek. You know what I mean? The man told her exactly what the problem was, which is I ain't attracted to you no
That's BS. I don't, because
more.
attraction evolves. Attraction evolves. Like, even like, think about
How's
this.
that? How you
Let's
invalidate
just
what
say
the
this.
man
Think about
told
when you
you?
think about when you and I are siblings. When we are getting along, everything you touch feels like I'm your champion, right? Like, yes, I'm so proud of Xadian, right? When we're not getting along, I say, because that nigga's fucked up. And he's got all these problems, right? I say all those things, and I'm like, but
And that's how
because
y'all do.
because
That's
and
a
you
whole
say the
nother.
same thing about me. You be like, your mouth
No,
is
no.
smart.
I don't
You
be. I
talk
don't be
about
smooth.
me.
I don't be
You
smooth.
tied me up and put me in a closet before. You don't tell me that you have not. You cannot tell me you ain't over there talking about me. Don't you do that?
That's his children now. I'm talking about no nobody. No, see the thing is this again. Women live in a whole nother world than what men live in, right? Because in truth, right, the man. See, I feel like the women's ideal of a relationship is very one-sided. It is.
It's not. It's
Man,
whole.
man, you are in a relationship with me, not we. You know what I mean? So when the man told you straight up, hey, look, I'm just not physically attracted to you. Instead of the one, but then, I guess the critique I would give that man is he ain't give her no opportunity to remedy it, or he maybe wasn't telling her over
It was
time.
a
Or,
lie. I
now,
honestly think it was a lie
why is
when
it, why is the, if the man
because I'm a reader of minds, and I and I'm a reader of, and many women are, we can go beyond what is actually being said. And if that were true, right? Let's just say if that were true, oh, you're getting heavier and that's impacting how I feel about you. It wasn't a meal that he stopped eating that
no,
she.
but maybe you don't doesn't change how you feel emotionally, but it may change how your body reacts to the person physically. It could
Well,
change in that way.
a part of the way our body reacts is, well, a part of the way our body reacts is cognitive. So, like I said, you can actually. I've had this experience where when I have been in love with someone and thought they were awesome. The moment we've broken up, I see how short or tall they are. I see how big their noses are. I see how their faces look. I say their smell doesn't attract. Like, the moment we have lost the emotional tie. So that's how I know that what your
But
eyes see
that's
and
how
what
the
your
women,
brain
that's
perceives
how
are two
women,
different things.
that's how women reacted to it. That's why, like in this whole concept between, um, infidelity, let's say, right?
Hmm.
If a woman has a relationship with another person outside of the core relationship she has, uh, it probably ain't no going back, because the way the man would look at what she did in that sense is like a super violation of something sacred. Whereas a man, on the other hand, right, will look at the whole thing totally physically, and he'll be like, I just slept with that girl. I have no emotional feelings for her or whatever. And you can always tell. I could tell you this 100% of the time. You can always tell where a man's heart is, because it's where he's investing his life energy at, right? So it's like wherever this man is calling home, you can see it, because he got his investment, his assets are there, and all this stuff. His intention and focus is there. And then wherever he ain't, where this ain't something, this some jump off for him, you can see it too. It's
Well,
very clear.
I'm
Yeah.
calling. I wish we had a button on here that says yes. Have you seen the show The Shy?
Mm-mm. I haven't
Okay,
seen-
so our producer has seen The Shy. He'll relate to this. So there's a character on there who named Reg, and Reg is a scoundrel. He's just a scoundrel. Cannot stand Reg, right? So eh, right. So Reg is a scoundrel, but scoundrels even can jump into rabbit holes. And so he found a hole to jump into, and then he pissed that hole off, and that hole put him out of her house and what she had. So he found himself homeless, right? Then he squatted in his brother's home until his brother got back on his feet and said, "Get out of my home because you're a scoundrel." And you know what that Reg did?
What do you do?
That was really really emblematic of what I see, and especially when I'm watching what's in the dating market, is he went
Mhm.
back to that rabbit hole, and the first thing he said to her was, "I love you, girl." He reached out to the emotional part of her, which everybody watching that scenario could say, "I gotta hit you full of it." And you saw her soften because the words love meant something to her.
Well, see, that's the point I'm making. It's like, when a woman is, like you said, accepting, diving into this extracurricular activity, for the most part. Now there's some vet women that ain't I don't know what you call them, but they ain't civilians, right? That this doesn't apply, right? You know what I mean? But for the most part, when a woman starts doing that stuff, she gets emotionally hooked, and that's why her actual man will have a problem with that, because he knows what that really means. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Whereas on the
but
other
to your
side of
broader
it,
point is
so
that
you just made my point, because like
okay, I
most
made it.
dudes is knocking
So you're
a
lying. So so
down
so
like Reg
all
is
these
doing.
so now they're liars, right? So you
No,
also made my
I
point that
definitely
they lie
I
in order to
definitely
be
think dudes.
surviving.
I think men do lie a great deal of
Oh my
when they
gosh, just
when
stop
they
right there.
no, I'm telling
Screenshot it.
you.
Say it again. You are admitting.
You know why I say that though? Because I wonder, I always be wondering sometimes when I look at some females and I'm like, you know, you can clearly see that she's supposed to be put on the bargain rack. You know what I mean? She's supposed to be marked down and all that. But she thinks she high value. Like she think, you ask a girl, she probably like a 2 or 1. Hey, where you rank yourself? And she feel like she from somewhere through an 8 or a 10. You know why she think that?
Why?
Because she could still find some wood somewhere, and them dudes laying that wood down on her is making her feel like she an 8 or 10, because they lying to her. You know what I mean?
So
They
why
ain't
lie
telling
then? So since men are
her.
such, because you always describe, because I think two things are happening here. One, men over sexualize women in relationships. And women don't do that to men. And because of that, we're far more judicious.
No, y'all don't over sexualize a man. But what y'all do is y'all over what's the word for this? Exploit the man for his resources and whatever asset he provides for you,
What
whatever it may be at the time.
exploitative?
That is
Wait,
protection.
wait. You have to define the exploitation, because exploitative means that they have no choice and
All
that
right, but
they are
no,
being.
no, no. Exploitation don't necessarily mean that you don't have a choice. Because I could say that when a man is looking at a woman from a sexualized perspective,
Mhm.
because the thing about life is everything exists in balance. So you might think, as a man, you getting out on this chick because I just want to sexualize her, and if I do that, I'm conquer out. It's a conquest. But on the other side of the table, the woman wants to, uh, exploit you financially. So if she got
Exploit,
all these,
explain exploit in that
well, let's just
conversation.
say, like sometimes it could be financial, but sometimes it could be some other reason. Maybe she just wants some form of companionship or
But why
play.
exploit? Why
But I said
exploit? Why is
because
that
they
the
both
word?
exploit. So the guy only wants this aspect of her. He could do without the rest of it. Like
I
right,
don't
I'm
think
telling you,
most people go into
I'm,
relationships that
I'm
compartmentalized.
telling you, most of the time, right, a dude might come somewhere like with a girl, right, and he
Hmm.
would be like, all I really trying to get out of this is some sexual gratification from it, right? And I put up with this other stuff to do it, like spending time to take you to eat and drink and fake dating and all this stuff
So
just to
isn't
get.
that lying? Isn't that lying and being manipulative?
It's an exploitation. That's why I say then inside of this stuff, if the girl is getting a meal, she getting a little bit of bill paid or whatever it may be that she working her game to get the exploitation she getting out of this man, and then exchange. It's like a little fair exchange to be
I
real.
don't think that that's the problem. I think, and this really opens my eyes up to just the difference in how men are processing these interpersonal dynamics. When a woman that, or the women that I know who are in relationship, they're not saying, "Oh, I mean, some women can very well be doing and saying what you're saying, right? Like, "Oh, I just need a man to pay the bills or whatever." Some women are doing that. But let's just take for grins and giggles. And I would say the ones that are doing that, it's y'all aren't unaware. It's like you're bargain shopping, and those are the low-hanging fruits, and they're putting themselves in positions to be used in that way. I'll
Well,
give you a really good example.
none of us are unaware of what's going on in a given moment. We all know what's happening, but
That's
I
true.
want to know.
That's true. This woman who, so you think the girl in the group chat knew that she was gonna wake up to this erectile dysfunction man, and he was gonna say, today I'm not attracted to you. That's why we're not having
I
sex, and
bet
we
you.
need to
I
end our
bet you. I don't
relationship.
know the woman. I don't know the woman, right? I don't know her, so I can't really speak
But even
directly.
that comment, you
Yeah.
woke up
Hmm.
and you
Well,
felt this way.
I know,
No
I know
change in
plenty.
tenor.
I
No,
know plenty.
well,
Yeah,
you
and
should have been, and I would agree with you. I would, sir producer, I would agree with you. But let me tell you something. When people feel that way for a while, like I be watching this play out. There's other things that happen, like stapiness. You don't want them to touch you. You don't want to eat their food. You ain't coming home. None of that happened in this time frame that they were. And again, this
so
person was.
what do you chop it up to be if you don't believe what the man said?
I told you what I chop it up. That I think
Because
that the embarrassment around having that conversation. Let's be real. Like
what's
listen.
wrong
It's
with
not,
that's the thing where I say like people alter the narrative so that they can live with the reality themselves instead of swallowing on the pill and saying like right. I know some dudes who have told me this right. Some real shit. Well, when men are having their locker room talk and they talking about some stuff, right? They say, "Yo, man, I try to slide up in there. That joint had no walls. Like, and then all of them beat down in there. It was like all that. And then the dude is Dude, so
So
like,
so
okay,
so so your
so this is
your ego told you because what you
don't make
brought was the
this
wrong
listen,
size.
don't make this about me. I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
I'm
the
talking about
person.
your being the male ego said what they brought wasn't good enough for that particular establishment.
But see the
That
thing about
person was
that
the
is,
problem.
no, they're not making the person the problem. What they're saying is this ain't the place for me because you know what I'm saying, this jungle gym too wide here. You know what I'm saying? Like this is slim fit over here. Like that joint need like the extra big and tall or something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
So
good.
I'm
That
saying,
awareness is good. Having
but
that
I'm
awareness
saying,
is good.
but they're not telling themselves an alternate narrative. Like, you know what?
Do they
Hey,
ever
it's
flip it
something.
and say what it must be like for a woman to endure that?
No, what I'm trying to say to you
No,
is,
no, run from that conversation.
no, I'm
If that's
asking
what it's
you
like for the man, what does this man say in his
what
mind for
the
the woman?
same thing on this situation where you talk about this erectile dysfunction.
The
The same
shame that
thing.
that man had about his
So
erectile.
see the thing about a female, right? Because they say like what they call the oldest profession is prostitution, right?
Yes.
So it always amazed me that like a woman in that field could probably see, she could have many sexual encounters in a day. You know,
Mm.
maybe I don't know what the limit could be, but it's a lot. It's a high number that a woman could run through on a daily basis. Whereas I don't care what superstar man it is, it ain't the same way. You know what I mean? I think there's a definite threshold for the average male. You know what I'm
Especially
saying?
when you're middle aged and you have prostate issues and other kind of you know. I mean,
well,
be honest. And
well,
then
I'm
y'all
saying,
don't go to the doctor, and then you lie to yourself.
no,
I
I'm
mean,
saying that at the best,
you're peeing 100 times a day. You got alcohol guts. Even though you got some people have big arms. They have good big arms, but then their gut's still a problem. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Y'all over here breaking down women. Let's talk about what it's like to date people like that.
but you said that y'all women don't look at men on that
We're
level.
not. You see how
Men,
judicious we are? But
men
if
look
we
at
did what men do, you all would be like, the shame that would become of you. Like if women did what men reduce women to, and we just was like, that's a good looking. And listen, I'm not saying that they're not
y'all
women
do
that
reduce
do
men
that.
to that though. So don't act like y'all don't do it. Y'all do. But I'm just saying.
What you mean? What do we over sexualize you, or do
No,
we?
y'all reduce a man. Y'all ain't got no problem trying to chop down a man's ego and pride and stuff. But what I'm saying is,
In
when it
what
comes
way?
down
What
to
way
this,
do women do it? No, don't run from. You got to give me fact.
y'all talk about how the man ain't earning enough, how he ain't doing this,
That's
whatever
not
it is.
true. There's many women taking care
Y'all,
of men. Many women taking care of men.
I'm talking
And
about.
I'm gonna talk about the ones re-entering. They go on a pen pal quest to live with a woman who has a house, a car, so that they can exploit that resource. It is done and talked about in the
I don't
institution.
deny it, but those men, when they're doing that, they're acting like females.
But whether they're acting or not, it is happening. And so in that, it is happening and
But
talked
they're
about
acting
and
like
passed
females.
around the network so that those very people will find women who don't have problems feeding them, clothing them, letting them drive their car, letting them stay in their house. So in that way, and even those same women who are having to do that may invite a middle-aged man who now has prostate issues because he wasn't taking care of himself or has some mental problems or whatever. And then you couple
But see,
that with
y'all keep talking about lowering the standard. What's wrong with a woman taking good care of herself, having healthy habits,
well,
eating good,
I think we can,
staying fit, and not?
and it should be done together. I think it should be done together. I think the expectation is, and I also think that people shouldn't expect where we are and now to look like we did when we were in our
Why not?
20s, in our 30s,
If you're
things like
trying
that.
yourself to preserve yourself, why not? What's wrong with that?
I think everybody is doing their best to do that. Like,
Not
I,
true.
I
Not
think,
true.
well, again, people are doing their best to do it. That doesn't mean we have the formula. And a lot of things are changing. Like, it is a true thing about menopause weight. It's a very real, you can, Halle Berry is talking about it. This
But if a
beautiful,
woman is going through menopause, waiting menopause period, let's just be real, right? The
be real
honest truth,
about.
be real that when a woman is going through those things, she may not herself feel that sexy or attractive, but it definitely is not sexy or attractive to her partner either. To be
Well, and
real,
also
like
we don't know what to do about it because there's so when these changes occur, one, it is this generation that's talking about what actually happens in middle aged. I think for the longest time people pretended that we stayed 20 for the rest of our lives. Doesn't happen. This generation is saying there are physiological changes that happen specifically to women that, so when you talk about the weight gain that might be men might be talking to, seeing and paying attention to, some of it are things beyond their control, and what we have deduced weight to is a choice, and that's
some of
not
them,
always true. Some of it
but
may
really,
be,
really,
but a
really,
lot of it's
really,
not.
that's exceptions to the rules, though. Because if we be real with each other on this, the truth is that we are slave to our habits, and the bad habits that that we have, dictate what happens to our bodies. The one true thing about sometimes there is that the exception to the rule is there's some sort of illness or issue or something like that. But for the majority part of it, it's what we're doing to ourselves or
Well, it's
lack thereof.
always what we're doing to ourselves. So it could
Mhm.
be the food choices. It could be the way we're, our work. I mean, think about it. The work that you and I do, I don't actually have hours to spend in the gym. Like, that's just never going to be my reality. But I do things that keep me physically fit. I don't look like
Well,
I looked when I walk. I'm very
okay.
deliberate about
But see,
walking,
one
weight
thing
training,
one thing you can do also is
make good food choices.
not snack. You know what I mean? And if you're going to snack on some good foods and stuff. See, this is the thing. We create our own problems, right? And then we make somebody else have to live with those issues. You know what I mean? And that ain't fair. But definitely, you know, in my view, it ain't fair to point the finger at erectile dysfunction when as you guys are saying, you're saying that you're admitting it yourself that as time goes on, the standard of attractiveness is waning, and when it's waning,
The
what you're hoping for,
visual attraction is when,
okay,
you know.
but you're hoping that there's something beyond that visual attraction that's keeping us more deeply connected with each other.
But that actually, if it's not, then there's something very
I
egoic
told, I
and
told, I
shallow
totally,
about you.
I totally
If
agree. I
if
totally
all
agree.
you're relying on is what you see and not
No,
how a person makes you feel, and what, then
I
there's something
totally
deeper.
agree.
Right.
This is
And so what you're
totally
saying
fine.
is men are egoic and shallow. Because that's
No, what I'm saying is that you have to go back to the thing that makes someone be connected with you, right?
which
So
is,
let's just say, ultimately, like our sir producer mentioned, right?
he was so
That
right on, but he didn't even have the courage to bring it up in the show.
there you go
He
again.
didn't even
But
have the courage.
listen, what I'm trying to say is,
Ah,
what he said is this: that most of the time, men are attracted to what they see of a woman, right?
initially, he said that.
Initially. Now that's what you know makes the man pay attention to her, right? But what makes the man lock into her is what he perceives of her virtue, and whatever way that virtue is valuable to him. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to you is that sometimes what happens in these relationships is that we fantasize about what the potential of a person could be, and I think both men and women do that. Like I might meet what I consider to be a very beautiful, attractive woman on the outside, but then when I start to get to know her, I'm like, man, this woman has no real virtue that matters to me. Like
Mhm.
she
But
doesn't
do you
bring
see
no
that?
joy.
I would agree. I like
Mhm,
that. And what I would extend that kind of thought process to then is, what are you doing to ensure? So what got the group chat so upset about this man's behavior was he reduced it to one thing: weight. Therefore, I'm not attracted to you. when the value that they were bringing seemingly to each other's lives wasn't just the sexual part of it, right? Because here's what I think women don't do well is they don't talk about their own disappointments with their partner's performance. Y'all over there talking about driving a bus through, you know, parking lots. Well, what happens when the bus is so disappointing, and you're like, well, why did you choose this parking lot? Yet for years and years and years and years and years, people with that
Have you ever
disappointing bus,
have you
disappointing.
ever seen have you ever seen this this analogy a man made about a woman's how to satisfy a woman? You know how he tried to demonstrate this? He
I don't
took
know.
he took the cap off of a bottle of water, right? And he says, "This is a woman's desire for satisfied, being satisfied." And then he started pouring the water into the cap. And as you would know, when he starts pouring it, it's more water in the bottle of water than the cap can hold. But basically, what he's trying to say is, it's impossible to satisfy a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what you do, it ain't gonna be enough, right? So it's kind of like, so what I say to
Well, what
that is,
about a man? Do you think it's possible to? So, when you
absolutely,
make these analogies,
men is very
what
simple. You know, men will tell you exactly the
it's not
stuff that
very
they,
simple. There are
like,
women who are
you know
doing
how
everything
we
you
told
want
you.
them to do, and
I
they're
remember
not
our
still
mom told
satisfied.
us this one time when she was, I think there was a situation that happened, and man was like, "Hey, let's just sit on the couch and watch TV." And then the woman comes and sits down on the couch with the man, and then she starts talking, and he's like, "Oh, like let's just sit here and watch TV, not talk and watch TV. Let's just sit here and watch." So the man's telling her simply what he wants to do. Right? You know, but she mad because she talking about what he mean be quiet and just watch TV and all this stuff. I don't want to just sit here and watch TV, but he wants to do that. You know what I mean? Remember, I had our nephew
You're
with
a
me.
crazy person.
No, remember I had my nephew with me, and we went on that walk. It was a 4 mile walk together,
Yes,
and
yes.
we didn't say a word to each other.
Hmm.
And he came back raving on that, like, "Oh, I felt so close to my uncle, and it was so good and all this stuff." Then he went with his mom and tried to do the same thing, and that ended up in a fight. And they called me, and he was like, "Uncle, can you tell what did we do when we walked?" I said, "We didn't do nothing. We ain't talking nothing." He's like, "Yeah, so she want to walk and talk and ask me all these things and stuff like that." You know what I mean? So that had me thinking, like, again, we miss each other because of the lack of being in attuned with one another, and also like what you said with communication. Because
Absolutely. So,
sometimes
what is?
somebody can tell you something, right?
Mhm.
Like the one good part about communication that I think is interesting is someone acknowledging what you said to them, right?
Okay.
Because when you acknowledge it, you validate it, and then you both sides make sure that they're in sync on the same page, right?
Right.
So now, if somebody tells you straight up, right? Like if we're dealing with this erectile dysfunction thing, let's just say I'm with a girl I'm physically not attracted to. And just let's just say not even physically, right? Because sometimes a dude could be with a girl and he ain't emotionally attracted to her, and he ain't, the thing about a man, it can't fake it. Like, the thing ain't rising up. Like, it's like I ain't this something ain't doing it for me, right?
Well, maybe you need to go to the doctor.
Right. But let's
That
just
could
say,
help.
but look, but what if
Go
what
to go. They
what
have physicians.
what if the dude what if well, what if the dude has a problem with one woman, but then the next woman could come sit next to him, but his body is all jumping off the meter. So then it ain't really the erectile dysfunction at this point. It's
Well,
something.
I would argue. I would argue that if that. Go ahead. Well, it could be, but I would, and I think a lot of, I think we're missing that part of the discussion. But if we are just going into the primitive aspect of this, and that there was an attraction early on, like in the group chats example, it does not make reasonable sense to me that any physical change would have reduced that level of attraction and emotional connection that happens when people are together. And so
You know,
that's why I
I
call
agree
BS.
with you. I agree with you on that. Now, unless the dude is a Reg from Shy, whatever y'all talking about, like he a
Right,
scoundrel,
right.
I think that a lot of times men are holding, they're suppressing their sincere thoughts and feelings about something with a woman, right?
Mhm.
I've actually heard this from like older men recently where they're like, don't even waste no time trying to talk to or explain anything to a woman because she don't really care about all that stuff. And in my personal experience, I started seeing how the way we're communicating be different. Like say, like for instance, women always say, I would like to know what your emotions are,
Mhm.
right? And then like a man gets confused on that because he takes that literally, like, hey, she really wants to know if I'm upset, stressed, sad, all of. And I realize a woman only wants to know what your emotions are in relation to her. Do you love her? Do you miss her? Do you think of her? Do you care about her? Do you still want to be with her? That's all. That's as much as emotions are concerned. That's all she wants to know. She don't give a damn about, hey, uh, you stress out about that. Okay, cool. Well, how do you feel about me? You know, what I mean?
Well,
that's that's
so
what.
so
So this is the trick
would
in
you
this
suggest?
business.
Wait, I don't want you to go too far from that.
Mhm.
If those are the kind of women who are in your life, would you
That's
suggest that?
all. Let's be real. Let's be real. It ain't about women. That's every woman in every man's life. Like
Well,
right now,
no, that's not true. That's
if
not
I
true.
start talking,
What
if I
about
start
the women who are getting those reentry people?
'cause
They have nothing to gain by giving everything away to those people.
companionship,
They could have companionship with the
well,
chat
they could,
box
but
now.
why they ain't
AI
doing it?
chat
What,
GPT is friending
why,
people.
why they ain't doing it then?
They are doing it. A lot of
Like,
people are.
what
Millions of
now?
Americans are chatting in chat boxes and living in virtual. So they are doing it.
All I'm trying to say to you is this: we're gonna be real with each other on this stuff,
We're being
right?
real, but you can't. You have a blind
So
spot on
what I'm
this.
trying to be real at it is that when human beings are raised and developed, most of us are raised and developed. We're not taught the tools that it takes to be in an effective relationship with each other. And some of us don't even be in environments where we're actually seeing examples where uh, and in this way of us observing or experiencing example,
Hmm.
we actually are being taught the tools by seeing it,
Well,
right?
isn't that the bigger problem? Is that men don't have
Well,
examples of
it's not
men.
just men because it's women too. Because what I'm trying to say to you is that,
Well, but I just need you to be accountable for your group. I'll take accountability for mine.
so what I'm trying to say is inside of this situation where men will get frustrated, right?
Uh huh.
Because I could understand that what he told her was ultimately
Cruel
probably
and a
overarching.
lie.
It was it probably was overarching true, which is I don't have the feelings for you anymore. But what he chose to give her was, well, I'm physically not attracted because that's the most clear and easy, definable way to describe what's happening, right? Now, and she would know it, he would know it, and it's like the straightest to the point, right?
Hmm.
But to your point, if the dude was really, deeply, because so something happened where he was losing these things for her,
Hmm.
and then ultimately, he just told her something that so men do that a lot because I think again,
They want to
uh,
push you away, so they
no,
use
no, they
anger.
do want to push you away, but I would say that y'all, like I say, y'all, whatever reason he would have gave her. Like let's say he told her, "Shit, we ain't on a line path and purpose no more." And she, well, this dude's a bum. I'm trying to go this way. All this, like, no matter whatever he told her, it wouldn't matter anyway because the thing she don't want to hear is that doesn't want to be with her.
Well, does
So
anybody want to hear that they're not good enough? And I think people can hear.
yes,
I think people can.
why would you want feedback? It's like if you let's just say right now, right? If you're in a position to where you're trying to get somewhere in life, you need feedback for it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So when you was a track athlete or whatever,
Yeah.
you need coaches, you need feedback to improve, get better, and all this stuff. So if you're not good enough for some reason, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think getting the real input and feedback on that stuff will uh is very helpful. It could hurt you, but sometimes it's a necessary pill to
So,
get you
so you're saying feedback on what though? I don't want feedback on
on
my
a
appearance.
well, sometimes see that's another thing. Yeah, how he delivered that message
But
to
the
her.
truth was what? In that
Well, see,
statement,
you
what
just
was
said
the truth?
something you said something that's interesting that even sometimes I had this conversation with women I ain't even dealing with romantically, but they just cool with me. They my friend. And they be like, don't talk about my weight. And I'm like, see, you sensitive about your weight because you know that that's something that you need to work on, right? Now, but at the end of the day, though, if you know this, that this is something that you need to work on, and this is an issue, but why do you don't give it the attention it deserves? Because not for nothing, I would say this in life, in terms of quality of life, the number one thing is health. If your health is fucked up, nothing else in life matters. So what I want to say to you on this is, if you are physically out of shape, that's a problem because that's a health issue, and that should be a concern for you because ultimately that's going to affect your quality of life in many different ways. Aesthetics being one of them, beauty and
Okay,
aesthetics
so
being one of
the group chat had a question because we're getting
them.
close to our time.
Yeah. Hmm.
They want to know what is one thing besides yourself and your siblings and your children that you love.
Besides myself, my siblings,
And your children that you love.
I love my community. I love the community that I come that that I come from that has caused me to be who I am. I love every single um, initiative that I'm involved with, like business wise, creating opportunities for people, continuing contributing growth for people. I mean, I
And then
love many different things. You
the
know what I
follow
mean?
up then is how do you express that in a way that does not diminish the very thing you love? And when you if you answer that, then we leaving.
Well, that's very easy. I mean, I express it through all of the intention that is expressed through actions that I do, on a day to day basis, and even in this very moment, you know.
So, like, you
You
love the
express it.
community, and our
Yeah.
community, for lack of a better word, right now is fat because we're not necessarily doing things to cultivate. Uh,
And
um,
that's why I tell them about their fat ass. And that's what they need to get in the gym. They
so,
need to learn how to eat right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, I'm about for one ain't gonna stop loving you because you fat. I ain't gonna stop loving you because of that. But at the same time, I ain't gonna stop telling you about yourself. Just like our grandma Rose would do when
I
she
can
was
agree with that. Then, so
when
you
she
can
was
give the
telling you
feedback.
she wouldn't stop feeding you if she called you a little liar. You know what I mean? Now she ain't gonna call you a little liar if you ain't telling no lies though.
Right, right.
Right? So at the end of the day, she giving you exactly, she being fair with you and all that, but she's still giving you the tenderness, love, and nurture and affection and all that stuff too. But some people will look at the fact that why she calling me this liar? She don't have to do that. Well, you don't have to lie. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so I ain't gonna stop loving you for being a certain type of way, but I'm not gonna stop holding you to the highest potential that you can be. Like, being straight
Okay.
shoot. I'm gonna
Well,
own
I
you.
want y'all to make sure you straight shoot with yourselves, and if there's an erectile dysfunction issue, there are doctors for that. There's also doctors for your own weight loss ability. And we have a public service announcement that we all wanted to share from the group chat, which is just because you lift your upper body, you still have fat ass stomachs, and we got to deal with that too. And take care of your whole body, including your mouths, your teeth. It's a big part of dating. And so the halitosis problem in the middle-aged men is really is making me um And we have some hygiene expectations. It's okay to go to the Koreans or whomever you want to get your toes done, your nails done. Manicures and pedicures for men are essential because we're tired, according to the group chat, of having to stay in bed with like scaly skinned men. So there's a lot that you could do, and
Y'all
because
tell these men this?
well,
How y'all
I'm here to tell. The group chat has said let's invite them to our truths, and that they have for too long been silenced on issues. And so since they're men are so
how long y'all
accountable and
want to
they
be in
like
the
to
bed
be
with a
tellers of
woman?
truth. Y'all
That's
like
what
to be all the tellers of truth, and we're going to start telling some truths because clearly the messages are not getting delivered because we do see middle-aged men with big bulging guts and stomachs, but they have some nice arms. And that's what we focus on, nice arms and chest. And we're like, okay, well, just look at the arms and chest. That's good. We'll stay looking at the arms and chest. But we still got to navigate around the fat
as he's running off his check, right? You know what I
huh?
mean? As long as is contributing his check
Well, no, we
to
were judicious. The women in the group chat have been judicious all their lives, and
yeah.
they're actually tired of this now because there is uh, there's a reality that you all can say whatever you want about women, not factoring in the realities of what it means to be a woman, and especially at this age. So we're giving y'all some public service announcement. I'm gonna continue to do it. The group chat, as they give me announcements, I'm gonna make sure I give you announcements. And so I hope those are helpful tips. We can put together a list of ones that groom black men's feet and black men's nails really, really good. And we can tell you to back up off the arms and muscles because the stomach needs some help too.
Well, you got to keep the arms and chest in place too.
Keep the arms and chest, keep the arms and chest, but we need a whole picture of a man. And we're really encouraging you guys to go to your proctologist because those prostates are running. They've been with you for, all your lives. And some of y'all 50, 60 years old, those prostates need some tune ups, and that might help your erection. I'm here to save y'all's life, and I'm happy to be here with you in the Rose Garden each week. I hope you learn something from us and enjoy it. We are Grandma Rose's grandchildren. We say it to you straight. We're here with you, brother. This therapy is so wonderful, and the group chat is actually popping right now. So I can't wait to tell you. Oh, the group chat. They look because I gave the public service announcement. They said, wow, you even told them about the manicure and pedicures. I said, no, sisters, I'm giving them every bit of we're saving lives today. So I'm thankful that we were able to do that.
Hey, well, the one last thing I want to ask these women though is, are they willing to pay for the man's pedicure and manicure like he does for this?
And on that note, we're gonna leave. If I got to pay your grooming bills, then I don't know that you deserve to be in the same category of the women that's in the group chat that I know. But
See.
Listen, we appreciate y'all for joining us each week. We'll see you same time, same place, same bat channel. Brother, you got anything else to say?
No, good. Just be dangerous and bye for now.
Absolutely not. We love y'all. Take care. Right?